Today we're in the green pastures of Los Angeles, California, where Don Knotts and Betty Lynn starred as sweethearts Barney and Thelma Lou on the Andy Griffith Show. Today we're going to find out if they're also spending eternity together with graves beside each other. As Deputy Barney Fife, Don Knotts appeared in the first 5 seasons of the show. And Betty Lynn appeared in 26 memorable episodes. In the book Andy and Don, author and Don Knotts' brother-in-law, Daniel DeVise writes that Don had off-screen feelings for Betty. He wrote poetry and read it to her, so his affection for her was more than just acting. Don Knotts' grave is close to the entrance here at Westwood Memorial Park. You can't miss his big bronze plaque. It says Don Knotts, 1924 to 2006. He saw the poignancy in people's pride and pain and turned it into something hilarious and endearing. Among his many characters depicted here is Deputy Barney Fife in the center. Andy Griffiths was one of the pallbearers at Don's funeral, and he might have stood right here. At the end of this video, I'll tell you which of Don's characters was celebrated right on his casket. Unfortunately, I couldn't find Betty Lynn's grave over at Westwood, so I thought I'd check across the street here at the Immaculate National Cemetery. And I found World War II hero Howard McNear, who played Floyd the Barber on the show, my favorite character. His niche is inside the mausoleum. Howard Turbo McNear, California, Private, USA, World War II, January 27, 1905 to January 3, 1969. Howard's quirky portrayal of Floyd used to crack up his fellow actors countless times. After he had a paralyzing stroke, Howard thought he would never work again, but Andy invited him back to the show. Let's head down to Santa Monica to see if we can find Betty Lynn's grave there. At Woodlawn Cemetery, I found another World War II hero, Hal Smith, who played Otis on the show. Funnier than all get out. When Otis had a bit to drink, he could really rile up poor Barney. Harold J. Smith, 1916 to 1994. And fans still remember Otis. Someone left a picture of him here. Otis wasn't initially meant to be a regular character, but Hal Smith was so funny they kept him in the show. What say we head up to Burbank, see if we can find Betty Lynn up there. In Valhalla Memorial Park, I found Aneta Corsaut, who played school teacher, and Andy's girlfriend, Helen Crump. Looks like I need to clean off this sweet lady's plaque. Aneta L. Corsaut, actor, trooper, 1933 to 1995. Off-screen, Andy and Aneta had real feelings for one another. Even though he was already married, Andy asked Aneta to marry him a few times, but Aneta never married anyone. Let's head down to Hollywood, see if we can find Betty Lynn. Opie's on-screen dad was Andy Taylor. Off-screen, Ronnie Howard's dad was Rance. And Rance advised Andy on how the father-son characters should interact on the show. Rance was an actor and appeared in 4 episodes. Rance Engel Howard, November 17, 1928 to November 25, 2017. A tenacious dreamer whose love of family and acting made so much possible. We are forever grateful. One day on set, young Ronnie was misbehaving. Rance gave the boy a spanking and a strong lecture. That set Ronnie on the right path in life. He's now a very successful director. Let's head down to Culver City now in our search for Betty Lynn. At Hillside Cemetery, I found Howard Morris, who played the rock-throwing hillbilly Ernest T. Bass, and you'll find that character's famous catchphrase on Howard's crypt. It's me, it's Ernest T. Howard Morris, 1919 to 2005. In addition to his hilarious acting, Howard directed 8 episodes of the show. Be sure to check out Howard with Sid Caesar and Carl Reiner, and This Is Your Story on YouTube. Comedy gold. Just a few steps away at Hillside, I found the grave of Sheldon Leonard, who was the creator of the Andy Griffith Show. Sheldon Leonard Burchard, beloved husband, father, and grandfather, 1907 to 1997. Andy's manager approached Sheldon, who was producing the Danny Thomas Show. He asked Sheldon if he knew Andy. Sheldon had heard his comedy album and immediately thought that he would be good in a show about a country boy. Without creator Sheldon Leonard, the Andy Griffith Show would have never been. He even invented the opening shot of Andy and Opie heading down to the fishing hole. And finally, at Holy Cross Cemetery, I found the resting place of Betty Lynn. Loving daughter, Elizabeth Ann Lynn, 1926 to 2021. When Don Knotts left the show, Sweet Betty figured it was the end of Thelma Lou, but they both appeared later in a high school reunion episode. When Thelma Lou introduces her husband, heartbroken Barney tells Andy that she was the only girl he could ever love. Then in 1986, a happy ending. In Return to Mayberry, a TV movie, Barney and Thelma Lou get married. The minister was played by Rance Howard. After the Andy Griffith Show, Don Knotts and Betty Lynn both had recurring roles in Andy's show Matlock. Like Andy Griffith, Don was married 3 times. And like Aneta Corsaut, Betty was never married. Barney and Thelma Lou are not resting in peace beside each other, but will never forget their lovely courtship in the Andy Griffith Show. Ooh, and Don's casket. It was custom blue and decorated with silver dancing fish, a tribute to his movie character, the incredible Mr. Limpet. Thank you for watching today. Hope you might tap that good subscribe button one time. I'm Jean-Claude Vancouver, and until next time, be good to the other.